wanted to make sure before there's any... Yes, we're good. So, welcome and greetings, everyone.
Yes.
So, I am here with some announcements, but I want to ask you, because I'm freezing, wiggle your fingers and your toes, get the blood rushing, do something with that body to get it going. Here we go. I, tonight, am doing my paint and sip baggage. I'm gonna step away from this for a second. Voila.
Yay!
So, we all carry some baggage, but this is gonna be colorful and creative. So, I have asked men and women to come tonight to the Children's Art Carnival, and you are all children of God, so no matter the age. I do the adult group, because if you want to keep your home and your family cohesive, the adults need to have woo-side moments too. So if we're doing all this work, engaging young people, and the grown-ups are frustrated, well, there's baggage. So we're gonna bring a bag and repurpose it and make it new again. So you can bring a new bag, an old bag, and do some things to it to zhuzh it up. And in my theme, since I have a book on here, it's a book bag. So tonight from 6 to 9 p.m., there are some tickets available, but how my paint and sips work for community is you, if you can't make it, get to sponsor a ticket or 2 or 3. So someone else who might not ordinarily come will have a seat at the table to experience the paint and sips. I'm an artist. From the time I was 3, I claimed that name, artist. So my ministry is to give back to the community by engaging you in art, so you're not just coming to a show where there's pretty work on the wall and deciding whether you want to use some of your income to buy art. If you're making art, you have a different sensitivity about celebrating and illuminating that we do this thing called art in our community. So if you buy a ticket for someone else, paying it forward means I gift that ticket to someone in the community. And so Voles and Rivers, who I thank immensely all the time, has sponsored some of the tickets too, and I've gifted them to the community. We have a number of sponsors from individuals and organizations that will give me ticket money, and then I get to give those tickets out to people. So see me, and I might give a ticket away free today. I'm feeling a little generous. So see me at the end of this. So I'm gonna hit the button and hope it moves. It's not moving. One of the other things that I did in the month of June for Juneteenth was, thanks to Kente Royal Gallery, Mr. Doji connected the dots with a lot of Harlem visual artists to get us to be able to show. That's one of the pictures from the paint and sip we did on the black medallion. It has a lot of history to it, so we use that as the symbol, but a lot of the people in those pictures you saw really did some amazing work, and it was beyond just a typical thing. So I'm not just bragging because I was the instructor. They really got into it, and a lot of them even took their work home and continued adding to that. So that was in May. So what the Juneteenth did was, we had a lot of Harlem-based artists that came to the Montclair Museum in New Jersey, because Harlem is not just in the geographic region of Harlem. Harlem can go around the world, right? So every year for Juneteenth, thanks to Doji, we've connected the dots where the visual artists have been showcasing and selling, I'm gonna say that loud.
That's right.
Selling our work. Because in order for us to really be alive and thrive and put the visual stories out about us, by us, you have to buy our work. And so we have people who are coming to these shows every year doing that. I don't know if this button is working at all, but it's kind of, doing something special. So I have an exhibit called The Feminine Agenda, 2 blocks from here, at the Yard. So it's on 60th Street. Education is important. This is the exhibit we did at the Juneteenth show. That work went home with the young lady because I told her the story. And those figures on that painting are the victory dance of the Watusi warriors. So I kind of have a story in all of my work that really celebrates us in so many different ways. So that was the show we did for Juneteenth. Let's see if I can go to the next one. The one on the bottom went with another young lady at the beginning of the show too. So there's a lot of things that I'm doing. So Juneteenth Day, I did some face painting, because like I said, I'm an artist. And I don't just say a painter or a sculptor, because I do art.
That's right.
So adorning the body is another part of the art. That was with Brenda Brunson Bay, who's always at Harlem Week with her booth with her wearable art. So this was what I did for the day. This is the show that I'm going to be doing in the Hamptons, July 13th to the 16th. The Caliber Gallery with Tim as the curator, who is the curator of the show 2 blocks from here at the Yard, has invited me, and this is one of my pieces that they put together on that promo, and it's going to be in the Hamptons. And so this piece is burlap, and I'm often doing things where I'm taking the burlap and taking it apart and reconstructing it. This piece was a piece that I actually showed and created for a show at the State Office Building. It was a tribute to Basquiat. We were asked to not do a Basquiat painting, but in the vein of Basquiat, if you think in terms of how he was telling stories, how would your story and your style of work go? So if you see that leash, you can only imagine the backbone that you see is on that leash is telling a story about how we were a slave to the things that in our minds and in our communities that we're not healing from. So there's all kind of messages in that, you know, there's mail because there's messages being delivered all the time in the universe.
Okay.
This is the show that I was talking about 2 blocks away at the Yard. This piece that's also on burlap was a piece that I did based on a show that I was doing upstate. For many years, I was doing a number of exhibitions at the Wellington Herbs and Spice Farm, and we would have artists from Harlem go upstate on the farm and exhibit their work, and I had those artists from upstate coming downstate and experiencing Harlem. This piece used to be at the Red Lobster for many years, and now I had it back, and it's on display 2 blocks from here. So I am also going to be doing an exhibition as part of Harlem Week, because the other hat that I don't wear with my unveiled Aleathia, I am normally on the stage at Harlem Week doing performance with some of the collective, and Kitty Rose has been part of that. We celebrated last year 10 years, so poetically I'm always telling story and using music and different platforms. So we will be on the stage in August 13th and the 20th for Great Day in Harlem and from Harlem Day. And then I'll be scatting over to the Cafe Mellow to do an exhibition called Duality that was just invited to me to do with one of the other young proteges. What I did right before the pandemic is I have a workshop that I do, an artist development workshop called 2 Hours for Ready. If your ideal opportunity knocked, would you be 2 hours, 2 weeks, or 2 years from being able to answer your ideal opportunity? And I had a group of people who were in those workshops for me up until the week before the pandemic hit. One of the young ladies that was in the class with me is going to be doing the Duality show with me as her first time exhibiting, and she did some work at the Kensington Royal Gallery she showed, but this will be her first time showing kind of with that kind of feature. So I bring her along as my mentee, and so we're going to do Duality from August 4th to the 20th. And so in that exhibition, we're talking about mental health, which her work speaks to, and I talk about spiritual health, which my work speaks to. So I'll leave you with this one question. If the energy in this room were a color, what color would it be for you?